beautiful flowers for the chancel area this morning. A very special word of thanks to all of the musicians, to Margaret Lloyd and Lonnie Grady and the members of our chancel choir, and to all of you for your singing. Your singing ministers to me, ministers to Ms. Lockwood, Mr. Vessel, as we ministers lead in worship, often concerned about the mechanics of worship and it flows smoothly for you. Your singing ministers to our souls. Thank you very much. About 30 years ago, our family visited Kitt Peak outside of Tucson, Arizona, an observatory on the mountaintop. Kitt Peak, as a national observatory, is one of the finest desert optical observatories in the world. The use of time on those telescopes there is treasured by universities and astronomers. The custodian of the church I served in Phoenix had a nephew who was privileged to have some of that treasured time at Kitt Peak. And we were fortunate, through his courtesy, to have a behind-the-scenes tour. In my naivete and childlike innocence, I expected to be able to look through a telescope and see the heavens. Well, I was able to see the stars and the galaxies, but it was on a television screen that conveyed the photographs or conveyed the images that were being viewed through a telescope that was longer than the height of the ceiling in the sanctuary. With the use of such telescopes, as well as the Hubble Space Telescope, in the last 30 years, astronomers have found a big empty space in the universe. It is a massive void. The hole is gigantic, nearly 1 billion light years across. Inside this giant hole, there are no stars, no planets, no galaxies, no gas. It is mind-boggling to consider the size. A light year is a unit of distance that light can travel in 1 year. 1 light year equals about 6 trillion miles. That's quite a distance. Well, this massive void, this big hole in the sky, is between 6 and 10 billion light years away from us, and it is nearly 1 billion light years across. Our tiny minds cannot begin to comprehend a whole that big. It is truly a massive void, a colossal void. No planets, no stars, no galaxies, no gas, an empty space. An empty place, not unlike the tomb on Easter morning. The empty tomb, which is faith-impacting and has a world-changing reality. The Apostle Paul was no astronomer, but he knew that the story of the empty tomb had significant consequences. He had heard the story of Mary Magdalene and the other women encountering a colossal void when they showed up at the tomb on Easter morning. An experience that was as mind-boggling to them as anything at the edge of the universe for us. Just imagine Mary's experience. She had suffered the painful loss of the death by crucifixion of her friend and teacher, Jesus. She is mourning his death deeply. And early in the morning, when the dark sky begins to turn gray, and the birds begin to sing, announcing another day, she went to the tomb to express her respect and her grief. And she found a huge void. She didn't realize that we all have to pass through empty tombs on the way to the hope of resurrection life. We all know what emptiness is like. We come face to face with it in our lives. It happens when you give your heart to someone, and then as time passes, that person no longer accepts your gift, and one day the hearts are broken in divorce. It happens when you work hard at your sport, if you're in high school, and you're determined to make the varsity team, and you try out, but you don't make the cut, and you feel like a failure. It happens when you study and focus through college and then grad school and then into your profession, only to discover a few years later that you hate your profession. It happens when you are determined to overcome an addiction, but then give in to temptation again and again. And it happens when you lose a spouse or parent or child to cancer and find yourself all alone in the world. These are huge, cold, empty spots in our lives. Massive voids where everyone experiences them in one form or another. Theologian N.T. Wright says that even when we are in the promised land, we are not far from the wilderness.